All right, so there it is. Tibbs on the first day of camp says Evan Fournier is the front runner. And Solo, I got to get your opinion on this because I've been telling the fans this for the longest. I thought that Fournier is going to be the incumbent. It's going to be his job to lose. We all like Grimes. I'm a Grimes guy. I'm a big-time Grimes guy. I do believe that he does deserve the shot to start at the 2. I just feel like, the zebra doesn't change his stripes that much. And I just think this was Tibbs' go-to. And as he announces today, Fournier starting at the 2. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be Tibbs if he wasn't pissing off the fan base on day 1 of training camp, right? Why not get right into it and start off the relationship or pick up where it left off? A month ago, CP, I tweeted out something just randomly, you just have these kind of thoughts, like thinking about what's coming. And that's exactly what I said. I said, when you look at the roster right now, Quentin Grimes fits better at the 2 for the reasons that Tibbs has said. You need somebody that can knock down a 3, a catch and shoot 3 guy. Now, is Quentin Grimes Evan Fournier when it comes to 3-point shooting? No, he's not in that class, at least not yet. But what he does that I also think that starting lineup needs is he defends the perimeter. He can defend a point guard. He can defend a wing. He's versatile. He's got size and strength. It's all the things that you really do need. Now, he's not a playmaker like Evan Fournier. He's inexperienced. But Evan Fournier just, he's not a guy that you're going to rely on defensively. Jalen Brunson, kind of small at the point guard position already. He's going to need help. RJ Barrett talks about wanting to be a better defender, but there's not a lot of games where he is that guy. There are moments he is, but when you think about a defender, RJ, you don't think first, oh yeah, he shuts people down. So who's going to do it? Who's going to handle that job when it's a guard and he's a tough defender? That's something that I feel like in time has to work itself out. Now, Tibbs' default position, aside from pissing off the fan base just because, his default position is also the vets. He relies on vets. He trusts vets. It's just what he does. So when you're a vet, and that was your job last year, it's your job this year until further notice. That's what I think happens here. I think he starts with it because it's not like you didn't, if Donovan Mitchell comes in here, it's a different story. Yeah. Right? Evan Fournier's probably not here anyway.
Right.
If you were to, bring in another player and Fournier's still here, if it's a vet, it's like an obvious one. Yeah, maybe then he comes off the bench. I think he fits a lot better with that bench group with the same idea, the shooting. But knowing Tibbs all these years and knowing how he operates, he will always trend to the vet and let the vet give up the job. Let the vet make it obvious. Nah, you got to start, like it's not working. That's the way he's going to go. It's going to drive people crazy.
Yeah.
That's just how he operates.
It's understandable, that the people will be tight about it. But, look, he's arguably our best shooter on the team, right? I mean,
he's one of the best shooters in the league.
One of the best shooters in the league. You're talking about 40% from 3, 7 attempts, high volume, set the Knicks record for threes in a season. Mm-hmm. There's no question that he has a role on this team. I also think an underrated aspect of his game is moving it without the ball. His ability to relocate into spots, in particularly the corner. He's operating off of Julius in the 2-man game.
That's the key, too.
I think Brunson will benefit off of his drives. You need a guy like that has a savvy to move without the ball and, get into those open spots as a Brunson and an RJ get some dribble penetration into the paint. So, Fournier's veteran savvy is needed. There's no doubt about that. Provides a little bit of playmaking here and there. He did increase his assist percentage as the season progressed last year. But there's no doubt that Grimes' defense, as you said, is needed. And for that reason, I do think that while Fournier gets the nod as a starter, I've been saying that I think Grimes is going to close. We saw that in certain spurts last season. Tibbs was very high on Grimes prior to the injury. We did see a few games where he did close in big moments. One game that stuck out was a game in Cleveland. I think he's going to get that opportunity. And I had a chance to speak to Grimes during Summer League. He's working on his playmaking. He's working on getting some scoring inside of the arc, his pick and roll play. He's working on that. He was a point guard coming into college.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all those things he's working on, but I think he will get the closing nod because we need it. And we've lost positional versatility. We don't have that. You're bringing in a smaller guard as a Jalen Brunson. And I think Grimes is just a guy that, this team really does not have many guys that can force turnovers. force turnovers, get us out in transition, and get us easier points. And I think that's where Grimes' strengths lies right now in his early career.
You know, you brought up something that I think is going to be a bigger debate, and we won't be able to have it until the season starts. It's the finishing lineup. Yeah. Because you're right. The one thing that became a big story last year was that Evan did not play a lot in the fourth quarter, especially in crunch time, mainly because he couldn't guard anybody.
Right.
You know, if the Knicks were chasing, he had to play because you needed somebody that could score, and he can. But you're protecting a lead, you can't have him out there. You know you can't have him out there. So what we remember, though, in that closing lineup, especially the fourth quarters, you know who led the team in minutes in the fourth quarter?
Who's that?
Manuel Quick.
I was going to say Quick, yeah.
Now, where's he going to play? Because Jalen Brunson's got to close.
That's right.
I mean, he showed you on Dallas that he's a closer. He's not just a guy that can be in a closing lineup. This dude can close a game, too. I mean, it wasn't just Luka. Yeah. I mean, he was closing games in the playoffs. I covered the playoffs. I've covered them a lot. So the closing lineup is going to be a real interesting story because Quick was very good. If Derrick Rose is healthy, he's also part of that, too, right? Because you could do a Brunson D Rose backcourt with RJ at the 3. I mean, there's a lot of things there. So the closing lineup will be fun to watch. Will be, to see how what group he trusts the most, right?
Right.
And the other reason why I can understand, and again, fans are going to like this, but you're not supposed to. All right, this is about strategy and coaching, and less about emotion. Because emotionally, I want to see Obi out there. Obviously, emotionally, that's what you want. But reality is, you're putting your best talented players on the court. And Julius Randle, love him or not, is probably still your most talented, physically talented player.
Said it yesterday.
And Evan Fournier is your physically best shooter. And one thing we also forgot about last season is that at the better times, because there weren't a lot of good times, but during the better times, Julius and Evan Fournier started to develop a chemistry that was similar to what Reggie Bullock and Julius had. It took a while, but they started to figure it out. As you said, the relocation, the idea of being in the sight lines, know where to find him and all that stuff, that was coming around. So I imagine Tibbs probably sees that on film and says, let's keep some of the familiarity together while we're also trying to work in a new starter at the point guard position who likes the ball in his hand in Jalen Brunson. So, the complaints are going to come. The comments are going to come. I get it. I mean, this is nuclear, that relationship right now with the coach and the fan base.
Good way to put it.
But it's, I also, without trying to be an apologist and all that other stuff, I get what Tibbs is saying. But me personally, I want to get to that point in January where it's Jalen and Quentin and RJ.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be, if Quentin Grimes does what I hope he does, and it's all up to him too, because we'll talk about Cam in a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what I feel about Cam.
Yeah.
But if you come into this camp and look at Evan Fournier, and in your head you say to yourself, I'm taking his job. That's what I want to see develop over time. Eventually, Tibbs will just have no choice but to give it to him.